Hey guys, so I just got a message from a new community member called Frozen Mice. His link is just down in the description on the screen now. Please go and subscribe to him. He wrote to me and asked how he could increase his subscription count and view count. And it's a question that I often get and usually give advice personally back over PM. But I thought this time around I'd make a very quick video about it. There's a great video by Les from Awesome Paint Job who did a video on how to increase his subscriber count and keep it. And his thoughts and theories are great and well worth going to listen to. So go check the link also in the description to that video. Mine are a little bit different in their focus in that it's more about the technology you use and the approach you take as a filmmaker, and also just generally how you communicate with the community. So I'll be really quick. The first thing is how you video your minis. I think that we all struggle with focus, and I think that a lot of community members struggle to get the camera to focus whenever they want it to, and that's hard with an auto camera, especially with an automatic webcam, and with an iPhone and things like that. But there are ways around it, and I think that most people have that under control. What I think people struggle with, though, more so in the community, is getting the right exposure, and by that I mean the way that the image looks, whether it's light or dark, and more importantly, how the mini looks, whether it's light or dark. And there's a couple of reasons why a mini might be dark, and in most cases that's the problem, is that people will hold up their miniatures to the screen and it'll be black, like you can't really see it. And even if you can, like even if it's exposed, it's still not exposed very well. And if you're showing off a painted miniature, people really don't have much choice but to say, yeah, that looks really good, even though they can't really see it because it's like nearly black or it's really dark. And there's a really easy way to solve this. The way that automatic cameras work, webcams, iPhones, things like that, when they expose, which means when they determine what's light and dark, is they look for the greatest area of single color or single tone. So for example, if I have a white piece of paper with a little miniature in the middle, the greatest area of single tone is that white piece of paper, it's not the miniature. So the camera sees the white paper and it exposes correctly for the white paper. So let's say that we want to, we can't really change that, especially if it's automatic, like that's just how it works, but we can like help it behave more correctly. And I think that usually what people do is they hold their minis up to the screen and they've got their background behind them like this. The next step up is they put a piece of white paper behind it and they hold it up to the screen. The step up from that is what I'd suggest you do. So if you have a newsagent nearby, or you have a printer, print out or go and buy a piece of grey paper. And I mean 50% grey. So not black, not white, but right in the middle. The way that these automatic cameras work, and the way that the software works, is it looks for grey. And it says, well, it looks for the greatest area of, single tone colour, as I was saying before. And it says then, is it grey? So if it's a white piece of paper with a mini in front of it, it sees the white piece of paper and it says, is it grey? And it says, no, it's white. And it goes, okay, well, make it grey. And that's it. That's how it works. To make that white paper grey, it makes everything dark. So the mini gets black, and the white paper behind it gets sort of a white grey. If it says, is it grey, and the paper is grey, then it says, great, keep it like it is. If it says, is it grey, and the paper behind it is black, then it says, great, make everything brighter, and then the mini gets blown out. So, and by blown out I mean it gets white, and you can't really see the detail or the colour. So my single most important piece of advice for improving your video quality and improving the way that you show miniatures to people, and thereby improving people's interest in the channel, is to expose properly. And simply achieved by buying a piece or printing out a piece of grey paper and using that behind your miniatures. Because more often than not, that'll create the correct exposure. And then you can worry about other things. Then you can worry about lights, then you can worry about soft light, harsh light, diffusing, light boxes, all those things, backgrounds, whatever. None of that really matters if you don't expose properly in the first place. When I video, I do everything on manual mode, so that gives me quite a sort of a head start. But not everyone has that luxury. And when I don't use my manual mode, when I do use my iPhone on the run, that's how I work. I make sure that I've got a piece of grey paper somewhere or a grey object that I can balance off. The new iPhones actually let you set the exposure manually, which is great, with a double tap. So I expose, if there's something over there that's grey, I expose that and I bring it back and I shoot. But that's getting too complex. Grey paper, it'll make a difference. If it doesn't make a difference, leave a comment here and we can talk about options. That's number one. So have good looking minis, have good looking videos, because it doesn't matter how good your minis look, it just matters that the video looks good, because people are watching a video about your minis. So that would be my first piece of advice. My second piece of advice would be to do what Frozen Mice has done and talk to people. When I first joined the community, I immediately made a video and sent it out to, I didn't really send it out to anyone. I was just really lucky. I made a video and I said, "Hi, I'm here to visit." You can see a link down in the description. And a really nice community member, fantastic community member called Terrain Noob, sort of sent my video out to people and said, "Hey, check out this guy," and it started from there. I put a lot of effort and enthusiasm into my work, and it's proved to be interesting to people, and lots of people have visited as a result, and that's got something to do with it. But getting a start, not being afraid to like reach out to community members with either large subscriber bases or medium subscriber bases or anyone, or just the community in general, and make a video is a really big start. A couple of people have written to me and said, "Hey, I'm new to the community, or I have lots of videos and no one's commenting," and all these things, and that's great. That's a really important first step, and I'm in the process of making some shout out videos that are long overdue for a couple of people, and we'll do that very soon. So that's my second piece of advice: communicate with people in the community, and don't be afraid to write to anyone to ask them to give you a shout out, because I don't know why people wouldn't. Like, it's really quick and it's a great idea. Like, the more videos the better. So that's number two. So number three would be to have interesting content. There's a lot of videos out there already, and it's very easy to watch them all and see what people are doing. Try and do something different. I tried to do something different, I think, in the work that I'm doing. I think that my first attempt at doing something different was to make it technologically different. High def cameras, lighting setup, and just to try it and show it technologically as high def as I could, and get really good video quality. But then also, like, just in my ideas and my enthusiasm and fun videos and stuff like that. That helps sort of broaden the viewer base, because people can come and watch your videos because they like your models, or they can come and watch it because they like the quality of the video, or they can come and watch it because they like the humor. So try and have like a broad sort of approach to keeping it different and changing it up. And it's probably harder than it was back then now to sort of really differentiate, because there's so much great content in the community. There's so many funny people. There's so many highly talented people. There's so many really committed people with huge armies, and there's just a lot out there. And there's a lot of videos. Certainly there's at least triple the amount of videos when I started, and that was only a year ago. So when I log on, there's at least 3 times as many videos, I think. I don't know if you guys agree, but that's for sure. That's my experience for sure. So that's something to keep in mind. How can you differentiate yourself? Now, the final point, which is to build on that, would be that the way to do it is to look at people's videos and deconstruct them very quickly. And the best way to deconstruct things, I find, is with destructive thinking. So the way that destructive thinking works is every time that someone says something or shows something on a video, you challenge it. You don't say that they're wrong, or that their work could be improved, or that it could be better. You just say, how could this be different? How could I show this differently? How could I explain this differently? And always with the goal of attracting people's attention and maintaining their focus. So for example, and I don't really do this, but I was just thinking about it with Frozen Mice. The first thing that caught my eye about Frozen Mice is one of his first videos, is that he was showing off a cape that he made for one of his minis, which was really cool. And he did it in a epoxy resin that isn't green stuff. And he said, look, this is my white cape, and I can't afford green stuff, so I did it in this stuff, which is cheaper and it's an epoxy resin. But it was almost like he was making an apology, or just it was not an apology, but it was an aside. He just was making a comment as an aside. But immediately I was like, we'll do a video on this and sell that as the point. So the point of difference is that you've got this medium that's not green stuff. So then you make a video, you title it cheaper than green stuff, or cheap alternative to green stuff, or things to use instead of green stuff, and you make a video just about that, and then you make it really positive and you make it really engaging, and people will get they'll get search hits and all sorts of things for that video, which will lead them to engage with your content more generally. So every time you do a video, or every time you see anyone else's videos, think how you could use that particular topic or subject that they're talking about to engage with the community in a more direct way and a more compelling way. That I think would be the third point of uh, suggestion, and I think that makes a big difference to the way people's videos work. I think Sean from Blue Table Painting is kind of a master at it, so much so that it's very like subliminal, you don't even notice, but his approach is always to engage creatively and also destructively with the community, and always like bring it back to Blue Table Painting and sell, but it's highly entertaining. So he's got quite a thing going on there. I don't know if I have any other advice off the top of my head. This probably could have been a more structured video, and maybe that's advice in itself. If you're a person who needs to write things down, do so. Figure out what you're going to record before you do, and then record it. Don't, like, people often, as many people who write to me and ask me about subs and stuff, they also write to me and ask me about equipment and lighting and editing and video software, and I don't like when people ask me that stuff, because I wish that people would just make the videos they want to make. As long as you're exposed correctly, you don't need to edit things, I don't think. Like YouTube, short videos, you can even cut it up now when you upload it. The thing I used to love most about Van Hammer's videos when I joined were that they were unedited and they sort of just flowed. And I think it's great because it teaches you. If you guys watch War Petru's videos, they just flow really well. And these guys are masters of the unedited video. Even Great Jojo Man, who edits his videos, in a sense, it's kind of this long, flowing program, which is really, really cool. My last piece of advice would don't focus on the technology, don't focus on the editing, don't focus on the production. That'll make a difference when you've got hundreds and hundreds of subscribers and you need to differentiate yourself, sure. But in the interim, focus on showing your minis and exposing correctly and talking about them in a creative way, in a way that's different, and that'll get you off to a really good start. And most importantly, ask and put your name out there and ask people to make videos about you or shout outs or anything like that. Those things make a big difference. I gotta stop ranting. If you've been watching and this has been helpful, I appreciate it, and thanks for your interest. And if you have any further suggestions, this could well be the place for them. Please post comments down below with suggestions of your own, or for other people, or with other people, or to other people. All of the wisdom of the community is very, very much valued here at the Asjarra channel, because it's the wisdom of the community that pretty much made the channel. So thanks very much, guys, and I'll get back to packing, and I'll hit you up with a proper update soon. Alright, cheers.